Hello and welcome to the arena at Gaitpost.com. I'm Vanessa Ryle, and in this new show we will be helping you survive the winter without eventing to fill your days. We've got all the latest news, some behind the scenes access with leading riders, plus we review some of the best new products on the market and have top tips from experts in their field. And a part I think you'll find relatively funny, we probe some of the world's leading equestrians with some pretty tricky questions. Make sure you click subscribe, somewhere around here, on our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single episode. First up, let's take a look at some of the stories that have been making the news this week. The largest equestrian charity in the UK has been named as the Charity of the Year at the 2018 Mitsubishi Motors Badminton Horse Trials. The British Horse Society, which celebrates 70 years of bringing horses and people together, is dedicated to education, equine welfare, protecting and increasing access to bridleways and equestrian routes, and safety for horse and riders. 2018 looks set to be a hugely anticipated event, with news surfacing that world number one Michael Young hopes to bring Le Biosthetique Sam FBW back to the Gloucestershire 4-star event in May, which he was runner-up in this year and won in 2016. Leading British dressage rider and Olympic gold medalist Carl Hester, MBE, is set to take centre stage at Olympia, the London International Horse Show 2017. Performing a special masterclass on Wednesday the 13th of December. Hester, who took the title of both the FEI World Cup Grand Prix and Freestyle at Olympia Horse Show in 2016, aboard Olympic team gold medal winning horse Nip Tuck, will be presenting an invaluable The Making of a Grand Prix Horse masterclass at this year's show. The Olympian will guide spectators through the elements which make a medal-contending dressage horse, from producing the perfect piaffe to mastering the most effective mentality. The Pony Club A test, the highest test within the Pony Club training structure, has enjoyed a pleasing pass rate, with 13 members gaining the prestigious award, and several more passing modules towards the qualification. Providing a comprehensive assessment of horsemanship and training of young horses, the Pony Club A test is recognised worldwide and helps open many doors for progression in the equestrian industry. Several international riders hold their A-test, including Nick Gauntlet, Francis Whittington, Ben Way and Sarah Parks. So it's congratulations from us to all those who passed this year. Finally, are you aiming for a 1-star in 2018? Entries for the inaugural Paul Roger Eventing Bursary close on November the 20th. With £2,000 up for grabs to go towards event entry, training, stabling and associated travel costs, a generous clothing collection for both horse and rider, and wait for it, masterclasses with Harry Mead, Laura Collett and Lucinda Green, as well as a one-to-one session with Director of Business Development Paul Graham from the esteemed Champagne House on how to improve marketability to future sponsors. The successful candidate will be all set to enjoy a phenomenal 2018 season. Next up, Sarah Hesseltine takes a look at winter warmers for both horse and rider, and also a time-saving grooming essential.
The clocks have changed, the days are getting shorter, and we're definitely now in for the long haul until the new eventing season starts. We're going to take a look at some of the new products that are going to keep both us and our horses warm. We've been trying Netex Equine 7-Day Mud Away that helps to prevent the build-up of mud to all areas of the horse, resulting in easier winter grooming. Whilst we haven't had the full deluge of winter mud yet, this has definitely speeded up grooming and keeps their coats silky as the spray creates a waterproof barrier to the skin.
The Equitech Kingsley Quilted Gilet has a super warm technical bio-down insulation. Its water-resistant and windproof properties have kept me toasty and warm, both out riding and on the football sideline. It has lots of lovely details, including a piped collar and snaffle bits on the zips, and we love the mint colourway shown here, but it's also available in navy. Mountain Horse's Beverley vest definitely wins the style stakes with its gorgeous wraparound collar to keep the wind out and its off-centred zip. It's definitely one to take you from stable to street. It's a serious purchase that delivers on all levels. Horsewear's Rambo waterproof fleece competition sheet is both warm and cosy and has a double bonded fleece outer and an inner waterproof layer. Its contoured competition cut allows the rider's leg to work effectively, and by that I mean kicking on when really necessary. We have managed to get our hands on one of the first Rennick & Sons grooming kits. The truly stunning Rennick & Sons brushwear collection has been created to make light work of this essential part of the day. Not usually speechless, we were bowled over by this gorgeous collection, which marries science and ergonomics with craftsmanship and well-being. This has to be the ultimate Christmas gift for the seriously stylish equestrian, and with personalisation available, you can create the grooming kit of your dreams. For more information on these products, visit the tried and tested section over on thegaitpost.com.
Izzy Taylor has achieved her best season to date at the very top and continues to produce a highly competitive string of future stars. In this feature interview, Hannah Brooks-Lawson went to meet her.
So we're here at Bicester in Oxfordshire at event rider Izzy Taylor's yard. She's had a fantastic season and has been nicknamed Busy Izzy by the Equa Ratings chaps. There's no surprise there. She's had 71 international starts this season. That's more than any other rider in the world. The stats just speak for themselves. She's finished on her dressage score 11 times this season and has a cross-country clear rating of 71%. And to top that off, Izzy took her first win at the Event Rider Masters final at Blenheim earlier this year. So with Equa Ratings Rider of the Year coming up, Izzy is in hot contention to win that. We're here at her yard and let's catch up with her. So Izzy, what a fantastic year. How's it been for you?
Yeah, it's been a really good year. You know, you obviously go into every season excited, have high hopes, but this year has been good. We've had a lot of highlights, which is great because there are lots of bad times as well, as we all know.
Horses, of course. And so if you could just list off a few of your highlights. Obviously, you've just come back from the Leon, which is amazing, but if you work backwards maybe from there.
Leon, I think, was probably the highlight of the year. To come for the 6-year-old, for Monkey to win the 6-year-old World Championships, and also to come second on Direct Casino and in the 7-year-olds. That was very exciting, and what's exciting is their horses for the future.
You mentioned there you've got quite a nice string of next generation coming through. Maybe tell me a little bit more about those.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, you never know till you test it. We have had an exciting season with the big horses and with the youngsters. So the 6-year-old monkeying around, he's owned by myself and my boyfriend Charlie. So hopefully we're going to try and keep him in the yard, but obviously, like all the eventers, there's the financial side of it, which is tricky. So we'll see what happens over the winter, but he's a horse I do really rate. He's very, very scopy, he's got lovely movement, he gallops. So hopefully we can keep him with us, and then I'd like to get him back to Leon next year. And
yeah, when you sit on a horse like that, do you know straight away, like, oh, I've got some unit under me?
He's phenomenally powerful,
yeah.
So you get that excitement out of it. But I don't think with any event horse you know until you're at that 4-star asking the question. And I think a lot of event riders would tell you you can take them to a 4-star once to be a really proper horse. It's going back to a 4-star again and them having the heart and the will to want to do it, because it is a big ask for them, and it's not often the powerful, amazing ones that give you that phenomenal feel because they actually try too hard and can't do it. You're often surprised by the horses that get to the top, I think.
We'll be hearing more from Izzy later in the show, and we'll be right back after this short break.
They say a good rider can hear his horse speak to him, but a great rider can hear his horse whisper. The years he's given me, a loyalty without compromise, beauty without vanity. I borrowed freedom when we rode. His body took the weight of mine and I was carried through. I can still hear that whisper.
Horses feeding on hay in stables are subjected to very high levels of dust. The dust particles contain bacteria, fungal spores, dust mites and mould spores, and very quickly enters the horse's respiratory system. Some particles get trapped by cilia in the trachea and flushed out by mucus, but others are not flushed out and can cause inflammation. Others get through and onto the lungs and into the bronchi and bronchioles. Some can reach the alveolar sacs and here can cause inflammation. A recent study by Dr. Julie de Villiers and Dr. Emmanuel van Erck-Westergren showed that 84% of horses studied were suffering from inflammatory airway disease. The same study found that steaming hay with Haygain reduced the incidence of IAD by 63%. Haygain's unique manifold design steams the hay from within. Haygain, that's pure horse sense.
As autumn leaves continue to fall, horse owners need to remain vigilant to the threat of acorn poisoning and atypical myopathy. Sarah Hesseltine spoke to Chris Neal about the precautions, symptoms and treatments for this deadly condition.
So we're joined now by Chris Neal from Scott Dunn's Equine Clinic. We're going to have a chat now about some of the concerns that are out there at the moment, including acorn poisoning and atypical myopathy. So Chris, in your view, I mean, acorn poisoning it's a real concern. How concerned should we be about the sort of what's out in the fields?
I think acorn poisoning, obviously, at the moment is really, really topical because everywhere you go on every single yard, whether it's some random stable or some competition yard, there's so many acorns around, like thousands and thousands. Now, I think it's prudent to be worried because acorns can cause, the tannins in acorns can be quite toxic to horses. We do see the odd horse, and when we say the odd horse, I mean the odd horse with colic, depression, diarrhea, sometimes blood in the urine and kidney failure, so it can be lethal.
In your opinion, would you say that the atypical myopathy sort of problems are sort of much more serious?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously both are potentially lethal, but I think atypical myopathy, when it happens, is much more serious. Atypical myopathy is basically a pathology of muscle, so most signs that you'll see are related to that. So usually owners will call us up for colic signs, so their horse will be colicking, will be trembling, it might be shivering. Obviously it's basically muscle tremors. Usually they can have a very high heart rate, respiratory rate, muddy brown gum line, especially in advanced cases, and certainly if you're lucky enough to catch them, very pathognomonic, or the classic sign would be myoglobin in the urine, which produces a very, very brown coloured urine. So you actually see that very classically with these guys. So if you notice any of those things, then you need to speak to the vet straight away, like a matter of urgency.
Brilliant. Well, Chris, thank you so much. Chris Neal, thank you, and we'll be in touch for future shows. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Let's head back to Oxfordshire now as Hannah chats to Izzy about what makes a 4-star horse, her support team and why hunting is so important for the youngsters.
I love the hunting.
Yeah.
So, I enjoy taking the horses out hunting. I think they get an enjoyment out of it. They learn how to go in the mud, how to go when they're tired. They have a will to want to go either with the hounds to keep up with them or with the other horses. You find out lots about them. And you can't make that happen at home.
No. It's a totally different environment, isn't it? And testing them with other horses and their blood up and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Would you say, so how do you get a horse to that level? You do a bit of hunting, you say the breeding's quite important, but what stages do you go through when you think, oh, I'm starting something really good here? How do you get them to sort of 3-4 star?
They're all different. Yeah. That is the biggest key factor. you know, we talk about the breeding, but then you look at me and my siblings, we're all incredibly different, and none of them would do what I want, what I do, and, you know, so the breeding is different, is important, but equally it's what's inside, what's in their head and what's in their heart. You've got to somehow teach the horses to get on side with you, so that when you're going cross country and you're in a bit of trouble because you've seen a really bad stride, they go, it's all right, and sort it out. And obviously it's not just the cross country, you know, now it's such a professional thing. They've got to be good on the flat, they've got to be fast and clear cross country, and then they've got to come out the next day and jump clear around show jumping. And the most important thing is that they're very, very sound.
Can go on all sorts of ground.
And the way the sport's developing, you know, we've got the ERM series. So I think you can slightly have a horse for that, because that is a slightly different area to the championship horses and the 4-star horses, and it'll be interesting over the next few years whether the championships separate from the 4-star even more, or whether they come back together again. And it is difficult as a rider to know what, you know, I'm looking for 4-year-olds at the moment, but what am I aiming for?
You're B ranked second. You're sandwiched in between Oliver Townend and Tim Price. Two really, you know, strong, successful men, and there are a lot of women in the B top sort of 10, 20 ranking, but how do you cope being a mum and staying at that top level?
I'm so lucky with the support team I have here. Obviously, my two, they have grown up with me being away a lot, so they don't know any different, so they don't think, oh God, where's mum gone? I mean, especially in September or October, I am away a huge amount, so it is difficult mentally, it's a bit of a challenge, but I know that between my family and Charlie and the girls and various friends, that Lily and Fred are fine. They're very happy, and they come, you know, they came to Burley. Burley's a great event.
Oh, really
family-wise. You know, Nicholson's kids were there, Tom Chris' kids were there, Tina's kids were there, and they have an amazing life, actually, that a lot of children would be jealous of. But yeah, I couldn't, eventing, the whole thing is massive teamwork, you know, not just family. The horses, the girls that are left behind, you know, the farrier, the dentist, the physio, my physio, the training, everything. It's huge. The number of people in the whole thing, that it's not just about me and my horses.
It's an infrastructure, isn't it?
It's a massive infrastructure.
It comes down to you. You know, you get the points, but it couldn't be done without.
No, it couldn't be done. Everyone has a role to play, and equally, you know, having the children has, of course, it's changed me. It puts a whole different perspective on life, and you know, whereas however many years ago, 10 years ago, I'd have come back and I had a really bad weekend and oh God, it's the end of the world and everything. Now you come back and you need to put dinner on the table, you need to do the homework, and you're like, actually, there's a bigger picture.
Yeah, it was really earlier when you had the kettle boiling, washing out of the thing. I was like, this is a working mum, you know, you do everything.
Yeah, it's no different. Okay, I'm a athlete, I'm a sports person, working mum. You've got your guys in London that are working parents.
And so, bringing things to a bit of an end, well, not an end, looking now to the future and next year, next season. What are your kind of aspirations? Have you got any plans? Obviously you're going to have a bit of a rest now, a well-deserved rest, but what's 2018 got in store?
Yes, so, well, first of all, we are having a kind of bit of a break. Not literally, we've got all the hunters in, the youngsters are in. So it's just a change.
You're not on the road so much, I guess.
No, actually being at home for 2 days in a row, which is a bit of a novelty.
A luxury.
Yeah.
God,
and
seems crazy.
Everyone's quite tired. So yeah, we just all need to recharge our batteries, and actually, like we spoke about a little bit before, just realise that we've had a good season, because it is very easy to just get back on the treadmill, and I don't want to wear myself out. I don't want to get to March and think, I am really, really tired. I need to, and as do, you know, all the girls and everyone and my family need to see me a bit before we fall out. But yeah, 2018, we've got the exciting young horses who've got to come back out. They've got to keep proving themselves.
Yeah.
Next year's the Worlds. I need to be in contention.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the Europeans this year, which I didn't like.
Sat at home watching.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that. So I need to make sure in the spring I'm producing the results to make the selectors sit up and look at me to get me to the Worlds. You know, because that's the aim. Obviously, in order to get there, we've got to produce the results.
Yeah.
So just get back to work and get back producing results and hope for 2018 to be better than 2017.
Well, Izzy, thanks ever so much for your time today, and good luck next season.
Thank you.
And finally, it's our burning question of the week time.
I don't know. I'd like to say Brad Pitt, but probably more like Rowan Atkinson.
Oh my God, someone's silly. Someone who likes to laugh. Who's that?
Say Clint Eastwood, he's quite old, isn't he?
You know, I'd like one of the old classics, like Tom Cruise or something, to play me. That would be pretty cool. So.
Tom Hardy.
Here, Frankie! Frankie! Who would play me in a film?
Somebody pretty short. Daniel DeVito.
Oh, come on. Daniel Craig.
No, who would? Sorry.
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, because he's a lot better looking than me and as equally mad.
Morgan Freeman.
Meryl Streep. Excellent. That was amazing. I didn't think I would get that.
My super groom says Cameron Diaz. Don't think she would, but...
Most definitely Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, we are the same.
Bold fella, Bruce Willis. Michael McIntyre.
I tell you what, I guess when my hair gets really long and I'm being a silly goof, it'd be a perfect character for Hugh Grant to play, flopping along and being daft.
Standard answer of Keanu Reeves. You know, he's very dull and dark and handsome, isn't he? And old like me!
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for future episodes, and you can find us across all social media channels. Head over to the Gaitpost Facebook page for news on an exciting competition in association with Horseware. And next time, we'll be chatting to Piggy French about her remarkable year following the birth of her son. Don't forget, let's keep this between you, me, and the Gaitpost. I don't like these flowers. Weird colour.
The days are getting shorter. Oh, I've just dropped it.
You don't have to be smart, though, do we? No!